What you are about to see was real life. Fauci and Mayor Bowser were knocking on doors like block captains, pushing jabs like they moving weight. If you thought this was about health, you haven't been paying attention. Check this out.
People in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot or a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
it's
like
much
the
more serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on.
There's something else.
You're right. But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
Now you see what it really was. No science involved, just straight up pressure tactics. If you want more, get the Fauci files. Fauci's dirty secrets exposed. Straight truth, no sugarcoat. The link's in the description. Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.
What's good, family? This is Romello, and you're watching What's the 411 News from an FBA and BGR perspective. We're talking about Peyton Gendron, the white supremacist teen who walked into that Tops supermarket in Buffalo back in 2022 and gunned down 10 innocent black lives in cold blood. Now this dude, who live streamed the entire massacre like it was a video game, wants his upcoming federal trial moved out of Buffalo to Manhattan. Why? Because he claims he can't get a fair trial in Western New York. Yeah, you heard that right. His legal team says media coverage is too intense and the emotional toll on Buffalo's black community is too deep. In court papers, they argue it's impossible to find an impartial jury in a city that's still healing. They want the trial moved to the Southern District, aka Manhattan and the Bronx, where they think a more diverse jury might give him a better shot. But let's keep it a buck. When you plan a racist attack, drive 3 hours to commit it, gear up like you're going to war, and live broadcast yourself murdering black elders in a supermarket, you don't need a fair trial. You need accountability. Families of the victims ain't having it either. Barbara Massey Mapps, whose sister was killed in the attack, said flat out, "We don't want that." And Wayne Jones, who lost his mama that day, said moving the trial would be a slap in the face to the community. "I want him to stay here so I can see the trial," Jones told reporters. And real talk, he's right. The people impacted deserve to face that monster in court, in their city, in front of their community. Meanwhile, Gendron's legal team is also asking the court to drop the death penalty option, claiming it's being used in a discriminatory way. But let's rewind to what he said at his state sentencing in 2023. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot people because they were black. That's not speculation. That's his own words. The intent was clear. The motive was racist. The result was mass murder. Prosecutors say he planned this hit like a military op, studied the area, picked a time when the store was filled with black folks, and showed up strapped in body armor with a tricked-out AR-15. This wasn't mental illness. This wasn't confusion. This was premeditated white domestic terrorism. Look, let's stop playing. You don't get to ask for fairness after you slaughtered 10 people live on Twitch. You don't get to cry about bias when you created fear in an entire community on purpose. The system loves to bend over backward for white suspects, but this right here, this should be open and shut. Buffalo is where it happened. Buffalo is where the trial should be. Period. Key takeaways. Peyton Gendron wants his federal trial moved from Buffalo to NYC, claiming media bias. He's already serving life for state charges, but federal charges could carry the death penalty. Victims' families strongly oppose the trial being moved. Gendron's team is also trying to remove the death penalty from the table. He admitted to killing black people because they were black. Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and racially motivated. This ain't about fair trial. It's about facing the consequences. That's the breakdown, uncut and unapologetic. You already know. This is What's the 411 News? I'm Romello. Keep your head up and your third eye open. Peace.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.